We are live. It is 3:07 Central Standard Time in the United States, 9:07 BST in the UK. This is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live this 15th day of September 2024. And if you are watching the stream, good. You're doing what we've asked you to do for the last 96 episodes or so. If you're not, you should be, because I mean, you could be watching NFL football. It is back and forth. This is week 2 in the NFL. You could be watching the NFL, but why not? Why not just watch this?
And
who cares if your Final Fantasy football team sucks and you got a guy that's sitting on your bench with 50 points and the running back you played has got 4 yards, right? Nobody cares about that.
Oh, so Sam, you play Fantasy League same as me then, yeah? You forget to update it.
I do, and then here's the problem with NFL football. It's easier because they play on Thursday and then on Sunday, right? So it's easier. Baseball, it's a nuts. If you play like a regular league, you got to change those players out like every day. And I just don't have time to manage all that crap. So yeah. I do play a league. It's for fun. I don't play for money or anything. I used to play years ago with my brother-in-law. Like, he's hardcore into it, and all his mates are hardcore into it. And I'm like, I don't care that much. So I'm kind of a very casual fantasy football person. It's all good. So anyway,
this make you laugh, Sam. Right, I've got a score prediction league with some friends.
Okay,
I didn't get my scores in on time, so what you get for that is 10 0-0s, like 10 0-0s.
Right,
but the guy who's bottom, I still scored more than him this week.
and he didn't even play. That's what happens.
So you get, I was like one game did come in as 0-0, so I got 3 points there, and then there was 2 or 3 other draws.
Well, I guess I don't understand how in an English Premier League football, how would fantasy work? Because in NFL games, kickers can score and running backs can score and quarterbacks, like a bunch of people can score and there's scoring, right? There's but in a soccer match or a football match, it might be 1-0 or 2-0. So do you like saves?
Yes, other metrics. Yeah, they use other metrics, and they give them ratings as well.
Okay.
You get deductions as well if you get a yellow card, red card. Deducts points. So
gotcha.
It's good fun.
Yeah, so it's good. So like I said, you could watch that, or you could watch the Nomad Tech Project, and you could do that. So anyway, chances are they probably won't. You're messing up. That's okay. You can listen to it later. It's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's been going on? So clearly, Joe has got a jumper. Is that a jumper or a hoodie?
I'd call it a hoodie.
Right. Okay. I'd call it a hoodie too. So
it's
I
Levi.
would. Oh, Levi. Yeah. So you stole his shirt again? You gotta stop stealing his stuff. So the best flopper score? Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, they do it in other leagues too, but yeah, in football it's probably a little bit more pronounced. It's kind of stuff. Just don't do it, right? If you're gonna if you actually get knocked in your butt, knock in your butt. Don't flop. It's just kind of yeah. And he said for example of like yellow card for example. Okay, yeah. So yellow cards, red cards. Okay, I got it. It's just a different scoring mechanic. So I just thought fantasy football was based on scoring of players and teams and defenses, and I just didn't know if in football it probably is different. So it's a pullover. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is because it doesn't have a zipper. I would say it's a pullover. Yeah, you can.
It's a hoodie because it's got a hood.
I love the hoodie. To me, that's a hoodie. I wouldn't call that a pullover or a jumper, whatever they call jumpers. I guess that's a sweater, right? I guess that's what we call a sweater. Yeah. So, anywho, well, let's see what's happened since we last talked. Apple had their event.
They did indeed. It's a very exciting event.
They're never exciting.
No.
I will notice this that I maybe because I haven't paid attention in the past. That's very possible, but I would say that there's a lot more starting to be some rumblings about creators, and they don't seem to be the regular Android people who usually always kind of throw shade at Apple. It seems like Apple people are starting to get kind of upset that Apple's really not doing anything other than just kind of coming out with the same phone essentially every year. And they look at, and I think for the first time now, again, this may have happened last year or maybe the year before. I don't know. I don't pay attention to all that chatter, but it seems like these people who seem to be Apple iPhone people, right, are noticing that there are other form factors and that other companies are pushing. Like I still think that Apple is missing a huge target audience with the flippable, the flippy dippy. I think a lot of their users would love to have a flippable device, like a flip phone. I'm telling you, a lot of these people before they had iPhones, they remember the Razor, right? And some
Well,
people
Sam,
that
what was funny though is the same day Huawei announced the trifold, right? So it's like innovation.
which can we be honest, is that the most bonkers thing you've ever seen? Like I
It
was
is
watching that, I'm
bonkers.
like, that is batshit crazy how that is.
Yeah,
And it was like, would you do it? I'm like, hell yeah,
I
dude.
kind of
If I
want
could,
one. Yeah,
dude, not only kind of want one, if I could get that one and I could put a SIM in it
yeah,
on AT&T, and if I had, well, I don't have an extra 2,900 quid laying around,
yeah. I don't have that
but
cash.
if I could get that phone legitimately and use that on a day to day, I would use that phone without. I don't care if it has Google. I don't care if it's running Harmony OS. Fine, no Google, doesn't matter to me.
That
I
would
would
turn
use that
heads.
phone every flipping day. That is dumb. Like what
Yeah.
they're trying to do is completely insane. Like you watch
Mm.
that thing now. Everybody's like, well, you don't need that. The outside screens and scratches. Like, you know what? Yeah, but you can ball. Dude, can you imagine being in like a situation where you're around a bunch of people and
Yeah.
you open your phone, like, oh, we know foldables, and you go, and they're like, that has three fucking, what is happening right now? Right? It's just, dude, I'm telling you, I experienced the same thing when I had my Duo, right? I've taken that when I first had the Duo and the Duo 2.
Same with this. Yeah.
And I would go out in public. It was like I would open up and people would be like completely, their head would just like, what the, is that a phone? I always get that. Is that a phone? I said, yeah, actually. Well, it's not really a phone. It really is a multitasking communications tool that you can make phone calls on, but it really is for multitasking and productivity, right? And yeah, it does make phone calls. It can be a phone, but it's not really not that. And the fact that people literally never heard of it, never saw it, and then it's just automatically a conversation piece for people.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
And it's really, really cool because, and again, Michael's, it's truly a tablet because it what a full 10, the full 3 panels, like 10.2 inch. It's essentially an iPad. It's essentially it's an iPad mini is what it is. And it's just completely nuts that when you fold it up, and now on top of it, I think the cameras are pretty. I mean, if it's Huawei, their cameras are probably really good.
But how thin it folds up as well.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like it's like they're 10 years ahead. And the fact that this isn't a prototype, they're fucking selling this thing. Like you can buy it. Then they said somebody said there was like 3 million orders or something. Now, granted, in China, that's nothing because there's 1.4 billion people, right? But the fact
it's not nothing for $2,000.
Dude, it's not a prototype.
Yeah.
It's an actual retail device that they're actually selling. It's nuts.
If you're in the ecosystem, their ecosystem is very good. So the products marry up really, really well. So I can imagine it is pretty popular in China.
Hey, Peter's in the chat. Hey, he's checking in from the holes. What I don't know what's
Holiday.
Oh, okay, holiday. Yeah. That's right. Well, it's funny because I asked if Dan was able to join. He said he was on vacation, and that's something Americans say. He's not on holiday. I mean, so he's on holiday. Okay,
Dan's Americanized.
Right. Well, God love him. I mean, anyway, and yeah, XT sold out. It's again. This isn't a limited edition or a prototype. It's a retail unit that they are selling, and they sold out of them at $3,000. Like,
just Sam, you know
what? It's like, are you crazy?
You know, we always talk about foldables, though. Right? I had a realization going back to what you said about when you get it out. People were like, "Oh, what's that?" When I was on the train last night, I opened up my V3 my Magic V3, and these 3 ladies were like, "Oh, wow, what's that?" And I said, "Oh yeah, it's Honor V3 Magic." And they said, "Oh, Honor." They hadn't heard of Honor, so I sort of explained about Honor. But they didn't
say it's Android. Just say it's Android.
Yeah, but they didn't know that even Samsung was on their 6th Fold.
Right.
They thought this was a new thing, but it's not a new thing anymore. But that made me realize us techies, like we've had it for ages now in our lives.
And then I went grocery shopping today, and the guy ahead of me in the checkout line, I saw he had, I don't know if it was a fold, he had a case on, so I couldn't tell if it was a Fold 5 or Fold 6. It could have been,
because they looked the same.
Might have been a 4. Hell, I don't know. But he had it in his pocket, and I always wanted to say to him, I was like, hey, I remember because a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of thinking, hey, maybe foldable, maybe that's not the thing. Maybe flippables and foldables, maybe that's not going to hit. And then this Apple event happens, and I see how these people are going, wait, where the fuck is the iFlip or the iFold? Where are those? And they're like, nope.
People are flipping out.
dude, I think that's the first time I've seen actual Apple people like go, man, this Apple thing is not. It's like we're not getting anything. This is a new phone. Yeah,
But you know what's funny? You know what's funny for me, Sam? The actual base model 16 is actually a bigger improvement than it's ever had.
dude, I would tell you right now. I was definitely gonna for Becky. She's got the 12, right? She's looking to upgrade because she needs a new phone. I was gonna tell her just get the 16 Pro because she likes the cameras and you get the better camera, right? The Pro. Although I don't know, now that I'm looking at it, I'm telling her I think she should just get the regular 16.
The base
I think
model,
that's the play, dude.
Honestly,
that's the play.
The nicer colors that she would like as well.
Yeah,
most of the functionality that she'd want. The cameras are at a stage where they're decent enough.
Yeah, and she also always uses a clear case, so it would let the color show through. So she, and then so it was just like, and then he says, yeah. So what did he say? Oh, where I lost the comment. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Look at that shit. 10.36 billion in sales on the XT. $10 billion. Dude, it's nuts. It's completely bonkers. And I'm just like, anyway, but this is the first time that I've noticed or I've seen a lot of people who are iPhone people go like, dude, this is bullshit. Look at the Android space, Samsung, Huawei, Honor, Vivo, OnePlus, all these companies, trifolds, foldables, Motorola's got a flippable, Samsung's got a flippable. Like, why can't we get a flip phone? Well, it comes out in 2025, maybe 26. I think people are seeing that for the first time. I think other iPhone people are seeing that, and they're getting a little crabby about the fact that they're stuck in the same form factor. And then you see this year they added a button, and as you can see, the Apple Intelligence, right, AI, isn't ready to go. The camera features, they don't even call it a button, right? It's the camera sense, whatever the fuck it is. Camera control. Yeah, I don't care. It's not fully fleshed out, right? There's the two-stage, it's not ready. So they're putting a market. They've claimed, like, watch Michael Fisher's thing. There's a video. Well, first of all, we're going to get back to that in a second because I got a whole big diatribe and I'm going to go off on that. So let's just, but because it's just generally an American executive and senior leadership problem. It's not really an Apple problem, but anyway. But they're going to send tons of millions. Yeah, they'll sell tens of millions of them, right? And they're going to, and it's, I understand. I get it. And again, my wife is going to get a 16 because she has a 12. Yeah. Now, if she had a 15 or 14, I would tell her, well, first of all, she wouldn't even bring it up. She'd be like, I don't really care.
Yeah, we're going to switch Lauren up as well.
But at the end of the day, Apple people are starting to get a little pissy about it. And that's the first time I've seen actual pushback from Apple people going, look, I think we're kind of getting a little hosed here. Like, I think it's starting to become a thing, especially when they look at the landscape and seeing that other friends, so it's interesting to see that. And I don't know how prevalent it is. I've just seen videos, like I've been scrolling through TikTok, and people who are having podcasts or having discussions are clearly kind of crabby about it. They're like, this is kind of horse shit. Like, we're tired of Apple just ignoring us, and we want form factors. We want different varieties. We want innovation. And Apple doesn't appear to them, not to me, like, not a me thing. This is them kind of saying, look, with the 16, we're kind of underwhelmed. It's just, and now I will tell you that I saw the view of the bezels. Okay, now that's pretty legitimate. The one phone I saw, the bezels are gone.
I like that they addressed like the build of it,
right?
Because there was heat issues with the 15 Pro and Pro Max, right? Which is, they've stopped manufacturing, by the way, now, which kind of highlights there was issues with them. They've like restructured it, haven't they? And they've got a heat sink in there and all sorts. And I think that's good that they're addressing issues. They shouldn't have had the issues in the first place, though.
Right.
But yeah.
As Sam Cole would say, nothing and say, well, I don't know Sam Cole. I don't know his content. I don't think he's, from what I've heard and or seen, he's kind of in the bag for Apple. So again, and that's fine. You just don't, but again, don't present yourself as a journalist or an objective reviewer. If you're in the bag for a company, Samsung, Apple, Google, I don't care, whatever, Microsoft, whatever it is, fine. But at the end of the day, it's like, never brought a product would it to be advertised. Okay, now here's the thing I would say about that. I agree with that, but that's a tech enthusiast mantra. That's not a consumer mantra. Regular people buying phones don't subscribe to that theory. That's a tech reviewer, tech head, tech enthusiast, the 10%ers. That's our thing. Don't buy a phone for what it's presented to be or promised to be what it is now. That's us.
Yeah.
That's not them.
Yeah.
They don't care. So again, I don't disagree with that. I agree with this axiom. I think this should be the baseline. But for regular consumers, that's not the baseline. They don't really they're thinking, oh, that's great, because then next year my AI will work, and then the 2-stage camera thing will work, and it'll be great.
See,
so I gotta get it.
I was just on with the tech disruptors, and I kind of defended Apple a little bit, right? Which shock horror, right? Right, they're behind with AI, aren't they? Which is their fault. They should have been doing things in the background a long time ago. But do they launch it half-baked, or do they wait till it's ready to be launched? I'd say it's better to wait for when it's ready. Because if they launch it now and it's not ready, that's going to be mayhem, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Do you not think? You think they should launch it now when it's not ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Because most Apple people don't care. Because if you watch the interview, no, think about it. I mean, I want to disagree with you, but I also want to look at it objectively as a regular person. And I think when Michael Fisher, Fahim put that there's a snippet. It goes right to this end of this interview. He's talking to 2 executives at Apple. So let's get into that. Can we do this for this is a Nomad Tech Project request. Can we stop interviewing CEOs and executives of these companies? Can we stop doing that? Because here's what's going to happen. 1, if you ask them a tough question, they're going to dodge or deflect. They're not going to answer. 2, if you ask them a middle question that's kind of they may answer sort of, but not really. If you ask them softball questions, they'll dive into it because it makes their company look good. Can we stop asking Tim Cook questions? First of all, Tim Cook's not writing code. Right? Well, that's another argument, and I agree. I think they align. I wasn't going to go there, but I'm glad you did.
We have to go there.
Can we stop asking Tim Cook questions? He's not writing any code. Tim Cook's not a coder. He's not a dev. He's not a QA tester. He's not an implementer. He's nothing. He's the CEO. Yeah. It's not his vision. It's the company's vision. He's not doing any work. Second of all, he's never going to give you a straight answer ever. He's going to push the narrative of the company that the Apple's the greatest, and he's just that guy. And third of all, if you try to push him in any kind of way that's uncomfortable, he's going to eventually, if you're lucky, he won't just walk out of the interview. But I guarantee if you push that, what can you really do? What can Michael Fisher really do there? He asked a question. They basically said that, we're basically future-proofing the device. And Michael's like, well, that's kind of bullshit. And he tactfully gets into, well, what about the fact that it's not ready? And the lady basically just says, I don't know who it is. It was an Asian lady. I don't know who it was. I don't know if she was marketing. I didn't care. Clearly a high-level executive. And she basically just says, well, the feature's not ready. And that's it. He can't go any farther than that because that's it. If he goes farther, then he runs the risk of 1, cutting himself off in the knees. 2, he's not going to get and you're not going to get the answer you want. You're not going to get it.
You can't afford to do
that. Can we understand? I don't know how many people work in a corporate environment. I don't know how people work for companies, large companies, like major companies. Please understand that you're never going to get senior level executives to ever talk negatively about a product. They're going to, if it's a failure, they're going to spin it. If it's middle, they're going to kind of talk to it. If it's a win, they're going to just basically go, it's a win, it's a win, it's a win. You're not going to get Tim. Now, what you would do, talk to a developer or a QA coder or a tester or somebody who's writing code for these features. If you could get them offline and let them talk honestly at a pub, maybe they'll tell you the truth of what's going on.
Yeah.
But if they're actually in an interview, they're not going to give you anything because they realize their higher ups are watching and they're going to lose their job, right?
So they have, the interviews where they're blacked out and you hear that voice. Oh yeah, so I didn't think it was ready for this reason.
Right. Now I guarantee there are people at Apple who are writing the code who are they realize it's not ready, it's in beta or it's at whatever, and they can't say anything. Because if they go on record and say anything, so don't do the interviews. Stop. Nobody's watching that. If you're do me a favor, if you're watching these interviews, if you're watching for Michael Fisher, cool. This is not an attack on Michael Fisher. If anything, he went as far as you could really go. You really can't go any farther here. And that's why I think these are a fail. And I don't know who it was. And I think it was Marquez. Did he say in his interview? He's not interviewing these people anymore because it doesn't do anything. It's not working. People aren't watching. People don't give a shit. And Tim Cook, what is Tim Cook going to do? Say that the Vision Pro is not landing? that the pad that they had the pad Pro, that thing, that's a failure, that they're not innovating because they really don't care, and they know that you're going to sell millions of iPhones and they don't give a shit about going to a flippable because they think their consumers don't care. Their consumers do care. They do give.
I think it's just a small segment, though. I agree with you that it is starting to get some whispers from Apple fans, but it's still too small for them to care.
Oh, yeah, and I think I've seen this other bullshit like, oh, Apple's finally on the way down. This is the end of Apple. Get fucked. This is not the end of Apple. You guys are stupid. If anybody says that, you're completely not seeing the room. What I'm saying, though, is it's the first time that I've noticed that Apple people who are clearly fans of the brand, they wouldn't even be fans of the brand. I would clearly consider them to be, they're in brand alignment. Like they're like, this 16 is not, this is, we can't continue to do this. This isn't working for me. If I've got a 15 or 14, there's no way I'm upgrading at this point. At least with the, look at if you were an original OG Pixel Fold user, the next Fold is clearly an upgrade. It's not, I would even call it, I wouldn't call it iterative. I would call it a significant hardware upgrade to where the one is. Now, is it mind-bendingly different? Is it a Huawei XT different? No, it's not.
No.
But you can't tell me now the Fold 5 to the Fold 6, that's an iterative move.
Yes.
Why? That's exactly why I'm keeping this and not upgrading this. Now, if they would have made a wider phone, more of a passport style with the silo, this thing would have been gone on launch.
Yes,
on launch, it would have been gone, right? And so I think that's where we are. I think people are finally starting to kind of maybe address the elephant in the room, that maybe Apple isn't doing anything. And maybe this is, as that starts to kind of gain momentum, maybe this is where it starts to change. Maybe Apple starts to hear some of the negative backlash. They start to read these comments. But I'm just saying, generally overall, the nothing but Tex, I mean, she's a great interviewer. I've never met her. I don't, Jacqueline seems to be, I mean, she's accomplished a lot in her very young life, which is awesome. I think she's a baller. I think she's a gamer. Now, I've made comments to other people, and they've kind of given me the intimation like she's not a nice person or not responsive. I have not seen that ever. I've never spoken to Jacqueline Dallas.
I think she's always on the go. Like, that's why.
And I also know that that's not sustainable. But she's 22 or 23 years old. Go for it. If you want to go fight the world
right now, so
man, go for it. When you're in you're my age, I don't care. But yeah, she seems to be a baller, right? So it's cool. But at the end of the day, it's like, can we stop normalizing interviewing CEOs and senior executives at these companies, Apple, Google, Alphabet? No, can we stop doing that? I don't think that's even, it doesn't have any value.
Interviews for tech fans, or are these interviews a way of boosting their own profile, do you think, maybe?
Oh, I think in Michael Fisher's case, no. Because I think he's got, I think, well, again, that's what we have to look. We can't look at it like across the board.
Because he's expressed that he wants to go into that side of things, right? And what better?
Well, I think it's because his channel's got 1.5 million viewers.
Yeah.
If he's 30,000 viewers, he's not leveraging it that way.
No. Mm-mm. So it's a good move for him potentially to.
It's a good move because it's the natural development of his channel, because now he realizes he can't be essentially canceled and he can't be stopped because his fans, he's got so many, because he's earned the journalistic and he's earned that capital, right? Yeah. And so I think what happens with a person like John Rettinger,
he's good.
No, it's fantastic. I will tell you, if you're asking me, this is a Sam thing. You can fight me all day on longest. I don't care if you do or not. As far as tech people go, presentation, voice, Michael Fisher is the gold standard to me. I think he is what I would like to do. First of all, I don't have the voice. Second of all, I don't have.
And he's actually a nice bloke.
He seems like he appears to be. If you met him in person at an airport like you did, he would actually talk to you. Obviously he's busy.
No, dude, it was on the plane.
Right. He literally is that guy. Like, I think he really enjoys the tech. This isn't just performative for him. Other people, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know. Again, I don't know these people. I've never met any of these human beings at all. They might be complete trash human beings. Although everybody gives Marquez shit, but I mean, first of all, have you ever seen him involved in a controversy that's really like significant? Well, I'm not talking about like phones and he didn't review this, but whatever. I'm talking about you don't catch him like at a strip club, like nose deep in Peruvian marching powder, right? You don't see that kind of stuff going on. He clearly he seems to be a guy who's, I mean, first of all, I was kind of fascinated that he got to go to Australia and he's doing the ultimate football thing, frisbee thing. Yeah. That's cool. Like I like his channel that he talks about cars. Like his review of the rematch Nomad, dude, that car is stupid. Like watch that video and watch it just blow the doors off a GT2. It's fucking nuts.
You think like
it's crazy how stupid fast that car is.
Do you think with his content he's got a bit bored of phones?
Oh, I think he's looking to move away from it. If you're asking me, I think because there's more. I
get that vibe
because there's nothing more here. For us, we talk about that on a daily basis, but we don't always just talk about phones. This is not because we've already decided we are going to like stratify and try to. No, it's just because we're because
we're
morons.
A film podcast now,
right? We're clearly a bunch of morons, right? What it is. I think he's kind of done with the whole phone thing because he realizes it's a cyclical thing and you're just kind of trapped in that. And then you're, you know what I mean? And honestly, I think he's kind of won. He's kind of won. He's like, I won mean, clearly, I mean, you look, so I think it's cool because he's doing the things he's into. He's into cars, clearly, obviously, right? He can afford them because he's a millionaire. Let's call for what it is, folks. Marquez is a fucking millionaire. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Earned every dollar of it. It's all good. I can't own. He could buy a rematch Navarra. I can't buy that car. I can't. At the end of the day, it's. I think he's doing now. He's kind of achieved the flexibility that he can kind of do the Waveform podcast. He can do the Czech channel when it comes to cars. He can talk about his Ultimate Frisbee. He's talking about Ultimate Frisbee and going to Australia. He finally got on their national team, he seems to be genuinely happy. I'm happy for himself. I think it's cool. Like, I think that's really cool. I didn't know that they had such a thing. I didn't know that was that flushed out as a league. I didn't know that Ultimate Frisbee was such a thing. But it's cool. You see how he's approaching that like he used to approach phone reviews 10 years ago. Like he's excited about it. And that's where you have to go. He's going to where his excitement, what moves him. Good on him. Luckily, he's got enough base where he could basically retire and disappear from the earth. He could go live on his own island and have enough money where he could live his life and just basically be a nobody. It's just a regular dude. And if he wanted to. So at the end of the day, I think Michael Fisher is in the position where he has access to these people. And I think he's doing it. But I think if he's being honest with himself, this is my opinion. I think he's being honest with himself. There's no value in that conversation. Because he can't push them as far as he. Now, if I know Michael Fisher, he wanted to go way deeper. He wanted to be like, no, hey, fuck that. That's a corporate bullshit answer. He wants to go there. You can tell in his mind. I can see it.
Even his answer is like he's like.
He's like, yeah, I want to call you out, but he knows
he can't.
He doesn't. He can't because there's first of all they're going to shut him down, and then he's not going to get the answer he wants anyway. He's just going to blow himself up. And he knows
he was very smart with the way he asked the questions. He kind of got the questions he wanted to ask to a degree, but he was quite smart with the way he done it. So he started with saying,
there is no doubt that Michael Fisher is a very adept, not in depth, adept and tactful and intelligent interviewer. He knows who he's talking to. He knows he can't go much farther. He has to follow up. She basically said it's not ready, and he knew that's as far as he can go. He's done there. He's the point's made. If you're paying attention to what's going on, you know that landed. Like, okay, yeah. She basically said this thing's not ready.
She's given us as much she's going to give us.
That's as far as she. It's funny because it shows you that he understands the interviewees. He knows who he's talking to. He realizes that's as far as they're going to go executive wise. They're not going any farther than that. And he kind of meets him in the middle and goes, okay, then he moves on. He made his point, and he knows he can't go any farther. And so that's smart because a lot of people will go even farther and go, well, what, and they're fucked. Or They will softball it because they're like, oh my God, I'm talking to Tim Cook. Like, I could talk to Tim Cook right now. And it's not that I don't respect the man. I don't know Tim Cook. I don't work for Apple. So I'm objective. I could care less. I would push Tim Cook as far as it goes. Like, I have no star. I could talk to Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai. I don't give a shit who I'm talking to. They're going to get the same questions for me. And if I realize I'm burning the bridge, I don't really care. Right. And that's why. But also, because I have that attitude, I don't cultivate that level of engagement. I'm not getting into those interviews because I'm not willing to do that. And I'm not going to do that. I don't have to. So at the end of the day,
email. I said, hi, I'm Sam from the Nomad Tech Project.
And they basically said, hey, thank you for your inquiry. We're basically going to tell you, you can go fuck right off.
The only problem is I sent it from my own personal email, which is in my name. So that was a bit stupid.
Oh, that's a good option. That's terrible. Anyway, so at the end of the day, it's like, look, I'm just happy that for the first time that I've noticed that some of these Apple people are really starting to kind of push back. And I think that's where you need to kind of push back. I think customers need to kind of start expecting their companies. Now, you will not always get what you want, right? Samsung clearly made the Z Fold 6, and it really wasn't much different than the Z Fold 5.
No.
I think, right? But then they see companies like Huawei doing the XT, and I think other companies, I think Huawei's doing a good job of getting that out. And there's people like TechSpert, who's showing the phone off, who has millions of subscribers. And people are seeing what's going on. They're like, whoa, not only is there foldables, but there's tri-foldables. Like, holy wow, what's going on? So again, quit asking these executives for shit. They're not going to give you nothing. They're like politicians. They're not going to answer any of your questions. They're going to basically talk through it, talk around it, or just ignore the question. And then if you try to push them on it, you're going to be persona non grata. And that's what you're going to be. And you're never going to get shit. Anyway, let's go back to the chat because everybody's engaged. Love these humans. Also, Michael Peppertech.
There's some great people there.
Great humans. He knows everyone. He's on a stream. Yeah. I made a comment on one of Michael Fisher's live streams, and he actually responded to me, which was pretty cool. I mean, I don't even remember what the comment was, and I think it was just early, so that's probably why.
Just quickly, I just want to plug Best of Our Week, TK and Juan. Michael Peppertech was a guest on with them.
Oh, really?
I haven't listened to the episode yet.
They have guests? Holy shit, how do you pull that off? Well, I know why Michael Peppertech pulled it off because he's awesome. Whatever, we don't get no love. So I didn't know there was a guest on that show. I thought it was kind of just, I've never seen a guest on that show. I've not checked it out,
but I'll have to.
I got to go back and look at it because it was Thursday and I was watching football and I went to bed early and I didn't, oh shit, okay, cool. Well, hey, Michael Pepper, good job.
Yeah.
TechSpert is one of my favorite like non-massive creators. I love Tech. Chris Barraclaw.
He is massive though. He's
it's not 18 million. Well, I'm talking 18, 20 million.
That massive. Yeah.
But there's only two creators that I really enjoy entertainment wise, and that's Flossie and Chris Barraclaw.
Yeah, I'm a Spartan.
I mean, Chris is awesome. And we've had the benefit of on the old show and had him on a couple times, and he is legitimately that's a guy I would hang out with at a pub. Like he's legitimately a good mate. He's a good dude. He's funny as hell. Crass, awesome. Just fantastic human being. Chris is a good dude. He's a really good, great guy. Marquez doesn't do reviews. He creates art. Yeah, that's fair. But he has done interviews. And he's done reviews. He's transcended past that. Now, maybe in the back, he has. And like I said, I don't know what it's like to have 18 million subscribers and be in that strata. I have no idea what that looks like.
One day, Sam. One day.
Not really. It's okay. $1 million podcast, dude. I would maybe hundreds of dollars a podcast. It's okay. Channel called The Studio. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember. That's the problem. I don't know if he had. I thought he was at Waveform. I thought that was Marquez's show, but maybe this.
No, he has got the studio as well. He's got side projects now that he's got.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like we said, like he's trying to find things that he loves, and things that he finds exciting. He's trying to find new stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, and then like I said, if you're on the top of the heap, and all you can do is look down, right? And he basically, you're going to get in trouble if you might shit on people. See, don't ask a question that you don't know the answer to or haven't. Oh yeah, you definitely want to ask a question you already know the answer to. Yeah, again, if you're doing it from an interview perspective and an attorney, that's fine. I don't disagree with that. I think that's a good approach. So I agree. So let's see. Right. Well, yeah.
Britney Spears sold 60
Britney Spears has
million
sold
records.
60 million records. Popularity is no barometer of talent or honesty. Yeah, it's definitely marketing, especially if you're talking about recording artists. That's always been the case, right? Because they're not producing a product other than the music, right? We're talking about Apple.
She was a product.
They have hardware, right? I'm saying, but I mean, they're producing actual technology. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's I don't disagree with that statement at all. I don't think it's a barometer of talent.
No.
I think when you have marketing and you have you can present things in a certain way where you get demand. I'm not saying, well, here's the thing though. I will tell you, maybe not the Britney Spears of her end of her career. I will tell you that when she came out with Baby One More Time, that first album, I don't think that pop was kind of in the neighborhood of a single female solo artist, Christina Aguilera and her. I don't think that was necessarily marketing. I think people just gravitated to the music. Personally, I didn't think Baby One More Time, that album was very good. I think it's too poppy for me, but they weren't speaking to somebody who is 24-year-old white male. That wasn't the target. It was the teenager, young girl.
I think they were if you put it on mute.
Right. Well, yeah. There's clearly obviously two things at play there, right? Anyway. And Joe did meet Michael Fisher and called him Mr. Mobile because that's fun.
Yeah. I said Mr. Mobile. No, I didn't call him Mr. Mobile. I called him Captain Two Phones. It's even worse. I just shouted Captain Two Phones.
Captain Two Phones. He's like
very gracious about it.
Yeah. So he was on the plane.
So what's your name? Yeah.
Did you actually? How long was? So what was the exact? Like, how was it? Like, what was that conversation like?
It was obviously very brief because I was boarding the plane. Obviously, there's people behind me waiting to go down the aisle. So it's like, but he like shook my hand and said, "What's your name?" I said, "Joe." I said, "Like, I'll head into the summit." It was really nice, and I saw him at the summit, and he goes, "Hey."
He seems like he's like a properly good dude. Like he seems like he's exactly
like you'd think. If someone goes Captain Two Phones, like when he got to the summit, it'd be like,
right, guy's a fucking muppet. Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
So we had a good time on those shows. Like Chris is a good dude.
I came on, didn't I, with you and Matt and Chris?
Yeah, it was really it was a great. I mean, he's just really. I mean, even after and sometimes what's really nice about and I'll give some people some background. So what's really nice is sometimes, not always, because people their times like when we had Super Saf and John Rettinger on our old show, and clearly, again, I don't say this to begrudge Mr. Rettinger. I don't know the man, but he definitely was not. He was kind of doing it as a favor. He clearly was. Now, Super Saf, I will have given him credit. He seemed a lot more interested in, like, he was like legitimately like, this is kind of cool. John, I think, was just kind of checking a box. And again, I don't blame him.
I'm not sure Super Saf now would be the same.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
That's probably hard for me
I will tell you that on the show, and then we had a little chat afterwards. He was generally a gracious human being. Like he was a nice guy.
Most of the time,
most of the time we have people on, they very rarely drop right after, right? They hang on for a couple minutes. We talk. Like I've had, we had Shane Craig and Adam, on Adam Dowd. I've had Adam Dowd. I've had Adam from Tech Odyssey. They stay on for a few minutes after they talk, and we just basically say, "Hey, we really appreciate you coming on."
Yeah,
I will tell you the best conversation I ever had was with Issa. She stayed on for like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
and it was just like 5 o'clock in the morning local time. She's like in the Philippines. She was one of the most fun people to talk to. I would love to just meet her and take her out to dinner with her and her boyfriend and just like,
excuse me,
talk to her. Well, I mean, I'm not going to
hearing this.
Yeah, she was super, super nice. Like just genuinely talking about, she's in this little apartment in wherever she lived. I think it was a suburb of Manila. Right. And just like a really nice person. Like it just like I realized that she's a creator. Right. And so she could have just basically said, "Hey, thanks for everybody. Bye. I'm out of here." Other people have done that. She was very gracious. And even Josh Vergara was really, really good. Grabbing him on was really a lot of fun. And so it's really cool to actually talk to these people and really just to kind of get to know them, and just really honestly, that the fact that they are taking every minute they're spending is money to them. That's what I try to explain to people. They aren't building a product. Well, Michael Fisher made the clicks, right? Which I think I would try that. I actually think I would try clicks if I were.
Steve
If I had an
Litchfield's got
iPhone,
one in.
right? I don't think I would do it on. You know what would be a good phone is for the smallest iPhone, like the iPhone 16.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
clicks would be great if you're on a Pro Max.
Yeah.
Like what did Adam say? It was like it's like typing on a Subway sandwich, right? It's too big of a phone. But he said that, but he did give a good rule. He said that the keyboard's well made. It's if you're a person who's into BlackBerry, that this lands pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. And Jason Tuna Tech. Yeah, he smells weird, but he's a good dude. Generally, he's actually pretty awesome. He's very smart. He just smells weird. And he lives in Ohio, so you know what happens in Ohio, right there. You eat the pets. It
smells like tuna.
They're eating the pets. Like that. Okay. Can we talk about that real quick? Because what the hell is happening right now? Did you hear? Yeah,
I heard about this.
Yeah, they're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Really, they're doing that. Oh, I just like. Oh, I mean, God. I'm just.
It is a delicacy in some countries. So,
but yeah, I don't think people in Ohio are just like like. I just. Oh God, it's just. I'm like watching this thing. It's just so funny because like they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. It's like, and then there's like now of course they memed the hell out of it, right? And somebody actually made a song.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Dude, it's so.
I love it when they make songs.
Dude, it's so good. It is so great, and it's just like they're eating the pets. I don't know, they're eating the pets. Right?
Sam, you should have brought the song up. You should have had that ready.
No, I honestly, it was just somebody was singing to the backtrack of it. It's like. Oh, it's so good. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's something you just gotta laugh at. But and it's one of those things where okay, hey Simon, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming. Yeah, check out the replay, download it, and tell your friends. And thanks for coming. You always are such a great dude. Appreciate you, man. So
he's been posting some nice images up on his Twix.
Yeah, it seems pricey for an
check him out.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? 150, I guess is what it is. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, at the end of the day, I guess it's a little pricey. Again, this gets to that conversation I've had about like price, right? It's like, okay, well, you could spend a lot of money on it, but if it's something that you really use, like let's say you buy the clicks and it's $150 and you put it on your phone and you're using it, but you're actually using it quite a bit and you like it and you really enjoying the product. Okay, you could have got it for $99, but does that make that product less or more usable for you because it was $99? I don't think that argument lands a lot of times. I think in some products it does, but if you spend $3,000 for a Vision Pro and you use it for a couple of weeks and now you don't really have it sitting on a shelf collecting dust, okay, well then I don't think that works. But if you're a clicks person, and let's say you only use it half the time, right? Let's say you use it and you give it a try and you like it. I think I would use clicks pretty often. I mean, if I had it on my, I have an iPhone.
The value
13.
will be there for you, right? The value would be there. Yeah.
I have an iPhone 13 for work and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know if they make. Oh, they gave me the case. It's an honor box. They gave me the case. It's the bank case.
It's a decent case.
Whatever. It's their phone. I don't care. I don't know if they make the clicks for the iPhone 13. But if they did, I would use it. I think it's cool. Like I said, I've spent $129 on a really nice dinner with my wife.
Now that's good value, mate.
And well, if you're married, you better every once in a while take your better half or out for dinner. And I've had, with drinks and a dinner and like I said, I've spent easily $129. Now, do I do that all the time? No. But
Sam, there must have been wine involved.
There was wine involved. Yeah. She's more of an amaretto sour drinker. I had a glass or two, and then I had like a regular cocktail. But just with starters and a dinner, it was about 100.
And then you went and spoiled it all by saying something stupid.
Right. Yeah. Toby Dog is magic. He wears magic hat. No. Anyway, so
I love that.
Yeah. So it's so my thing is this: if you're willing to spend $100 for dinner with your spouse or significant other or a parent, right? If you're out with your mom or dad or whatever, and you go out for a really nice dinner, and if you're willing to drop £100 on a nice dinner because it's an experience, why not get clicks for $129? I think we're splitting hairs. Again,
what you could do, right, Sam, is not go out for that dinner and just get yourself clicks.
Yeah, you just get clicks and have a pot pie because that's how you can roll. You can roll like that. You can have ramen noodles, dog, but you got your clicks.
You can message her. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mom and dad. I was gonna have money for you to take you out to dinner for your anniversary, but I bought clicks instead because that's how I roll.
I'm typing on it now.
Because I got Riz. I'm mid, all that shit, right?
All that.
Slay queen, right? Anyway, I just think at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, you can make that argument, and again, I don't begrudge people by saying, well, it's just too expensive. Great, if you don't want to spend the money, it doesn't have values for you, and it doesn't move for you. Good, don't spend your money on something else, and that's fine. But I think it's worth it if you want to spend the money. Now, if it was $250, like, okay, now we're kind of talking about some craziness right there. But I think at 120, clicks is 129. I think at 129, I don't think that's that bad of a deal. Again, if you don't care for a physical keyboard, don't buy the damn thing. Just go. Buy clicks instead of dinners with chicks. Ooh, well, I'm not calling my wife a chick because she'll get mad. But if you're a single guy and you're out dating the women and you want to say dinner with chicks, I mean, there was the Dixie chicks. I don't know what they're called. They're just called the chicks now, right? Because it can't be Dixie because, that got a little weird.
Instead of dinner with dicks.
Dinner with dicks. If you're taking out your brother and a good mate, that would be us, mate. Dinners with dicks, right? Because that's all us, right? We just go out to have chat. At the end of the day, it's like, I get it. I mean,
That's another podcast we're doing, Dinner with Dicks.
Dinner with Dicks. We're just me and Joe are going to go to a pub. We're going to have a bangers and mash, and then we're going to basically talk about spotted dick, and then we're going to talk about phones and maybe hate on some creators. No, I don't think we're going to do that. Anyway, again, it's one of those things where when it comes to what people spend their money on, I really stay away from what I think is valuable for what their purchase is. I just think that's a bad place to be because everybody has a different thing. Like I know some people who are really into, they'll spend $129 on a really nice bottle of wine and not even blink. Like me, I'm like $8 a glass really kind of gets the job done, right? Because I don't. But here's the thing: I've had, luckily where I work, I've had access to $1,000 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
If you don't think it's worth it, you need to get yourself a $1,000 bottle of wine and try that out. Because I think if you've never had a $1,000 bottle of wine, I think you're missing out. Why don't you do that thing and then make the comment about, oh, I didn't do that thing? Because I'm telling you, there's a clear difference between a $250 glass of wine and a $10 glass of wine.
See, if I had a bottle that expensive, I'd want to share that though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I just luckily, like I said, it was a bottle that a member brought in, their own bottle. So we pay a corkage fee because they can bring their own wine in. And there was a little bit left at the bottom, and the member's like, "Hey, we'd like you to try it." So it was like, I mean, literally, it was like the bottom of a red wine glass. It was a red. I'm not a big red wine fan.
I love red. Okay. Yeah.
Not me. I'm more of a white guy, but it's cool. So anyways, there was a little bit at the bottom. It wasn't sediment. It was like really, it was strained out. We had put it through a decanter, right? So it was all good. And it was like, holy shit. It's like, wow. It was
silky
really
smooth.
You could tell the difference. And it's like, it's one of those things where if you drive a Honda Civic, cool. But if you get behind the wheel of a really nice Mercedes or an Audi or a nice vehicle, you can tell the difference. It's again, now, whether it's value for money for you, like maybe it's like, but here's the thing. If you could afford a car like that, I'd like to drive a Mustang GTR. They're $300,000. I think the car is amazing. I'd love to have a Ford GT. That would be cool to drive. I'd like to just drive around a track once. But the only reason and again, I hate to say this because it's going to sound, again, this is not against anybody in the chat or anybody, but it's if money weren't an object, would you want to experience the higher end thing? Like, and the answer is yes. Then really, what your problem is it's not the thing that you value. It's the fact that you think that the money for what the thing is doesn't align with you. Yeah. Clicks might be worth $99. Maybe it cost Michael Fisher $43 a unit, right? And he's trying to basically leverage the cost. He's got to pay investors and those people back, right? At the end of the day, it's like, I haven't used the Clicks. I think it's pretty cool. I think people who've tried it legitimately say they can't imagine using it like day to day, but it's kind of cool that you can just throw it on a phone real quick. And that's what's kind of nice is you can just throw it on the phone and you get the protection of a case, right? Because it's a case.
You need to bang some really important emails out.
But you get the old-fashioned, but you always get the old-fashioned BlackBerry feel, right? And you're like, this is kind of cool. And also, what else does it do for people like us? What does it do, right? It lets you kind of like somebody's looking over your shoulder and see you're on this clicks thing. You're like, what are you using? It's like, is that an attachment? Like, again, it's one of those things where it kind of makes it a conversation starter. It's one of those pieces of tech. If you're a tech head, you should love the idea of clicks, that somebody's out there trying to make a device. Now, what I'd like to see is, I'd love to see clicks for Android. Dude,
I said exactly this. I wanted a USB-C keyboard
right
to plug into. I said it, didn't I? And
yeah,
clicks
absolutely.
came out.
Right.
I mean,
I'm telling you,
Fisher stole that off me, actually.
Well, he owes you at least $35 for
each unit.
Right. That's fair. I don't think we're going to get that. That's okay.
No chance.
But no chance. But here's the thing, though. It's like, but can you? If I could get one for my Pixel, my Pixel 8, I would totally use clicks on a Pixel. One.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Totally, 100%. I would buy it. And if it was $100, okay, yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, I probably would. Sam, I've got something exciting actually. I'm going to be loaning a camera and then eventually buying it, and it's a Canon R5.
Okay,
but that's the price I'm getting for it is really good. It's a full frame. It's a good hybrid camera, so it's good for stills and video. It does overheat a little bit when you do over half hour, but what I'm going to be filming won't be over that. So yeah, it's going to be really nice, really nice. That's with 2 lenses as well.
Buddy, Michael Cochran's in the chat. Hey, Mike, what's up, man?
Yo,
thanks for dropping in. And Boone's Farm's only $3. That's true. Boone's Farm is, and Boone's Farm is it does the job. It gets you a little faded, and it's not expensive. And I'm saying, but it's like a wine. It's kind of a low end.
Ah, okay.
It's like, yeah, McCormick's whiskey can do the same thing. I mean, it tastes like turpentine, but hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it gets the job done. So I actually agree. And actually, Boone's Farm is nice. I'm just saying, though, don't always say that just because it's $1,000, it's clearly not worth it. It's like, try it one time and you're like,
yeah, you don't know, do you?
And maybe it's not worth $1,000. Maybe I wouldn't spend $1,000 on a bottle of wine. However, I had a small little taste of it. It's kind of nice. I don't know.
Damn, there's a Navy rum you should try. It's called Pussers.
Oh, Pussers rum. Yeah, I've had it before. I like Pussers.
I thought you might have.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Actually, there's a store now. I don't know if there's different gradients of it. Maybe I had like the
there is. Pussers. There's a gunpowder version.
So like I didn't have. There's a well, I mean, we call them liquor stores, and I say, but if you're in Massachusetts, they call it a packy, right? The package store, right? So it's a liquor store, and they had Pussers rum. I tried it one time because it had like a British Admiralty kind of thing. I just looked kind of interesting. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And I got a bottle of it. I think I burnt. The problem is, I think I burned myself out. Like, I don't drink rum and cokes anymore. Yeah, I think I kind of. And so I'm now on to obviously I'm on the rum. I mean, not rum, but on the bourbon rye kind of thing. So I've been trying that out, old fashions and stuff.
Old fashioned's nice. I like an old fashioned.
Very nice. Or back to the margaritas. So I'm going to the tequilas, but man, I don't know what maybe this hasn't happened, but in the UK, dude, the price of tequila is fucking. I mean, it's through the roof. Well, it's popular. I mean, a lot of people are drinking a lot of tequila. So you got like the Casamigos and the Código Blanco and the Terra, but then you got stuff like you got really high end like Lalo. Then you've got like Don Julio Blanco. I mean, you got some really high end tequilas. That some of these things are like $80 and $90 for a 750 mil. I'm like, God, dude, I don't know, man. It's like if I'm just drinking margaritas, I don't really know if I'm going to be drinking a $75 bottle margarita. I mean, it's nice. But I think mojitos are nice. Yeah, the mint's good. Like
I love muddled mint in there.
Yeah, muddled in there. Like I said, it's nice. So at the end of the day, it's good. Yeah, eggs are back up. So are pets. They're eating the pets. No, I'm just kidding. Eggs are back up. Yeah. Well, I mean, cost of living. Well, again, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah. So it's cool. So again, like I don't get into the value of things because. Yeah, I think clicks isn't cheap. I mean, it'd be nice if they make a $69 version of the clicks. Like if they could get it for $69. Obviously, you want to get the thing for obviously more affordability. But
I like your point though, Sam. Like you see the value in it yourself. Don't worry about what other people think. If it's valuable to you, you see the value in it. It's worth the price for you. Go for it.
Right, and I think at the end of the day, it'd be nice.
Huawei trifold. And you think,
dude, I don't know if I would buy the thing. I would just love to get my hands on it and see, dude, it's just like I'm watching videos of this thing. I'm like, dude, please tell me if you're a tech person. I know we have a bunch of tech people in the chat who are lovers of tech. Please tell me that Huawei XT isn't like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I watched the video. I'm like, are you like, what is happening right now? It basically made me contemplate. Like, I had to recontemplate my reality. I'm like, okay, I can understand like a foldable. Like, I get this. Like, I get this.
Sam, if you're into sci-fi, right, you've seen these trifold type things in films,
Right.
haven't you? And
Right.
you're like,
it's like, honest to God, it's like, it feels like science fiction.
But
and again, this isn't but here, folks, let's again, I say this again, and I'm like, I can't stress this enough. This is not a prototype. This is a retail unit they're selling. They're selling now. Will the fact that, but everybody's like, well, that outside screen, that's plastic, it's exposed. I said, but if you look at the first Huawei foldables, it folded the opposite way. It didn't fold in on itself. It folded this backwards. It folded this way.
Don't show us with that.
Right, crack. Right. It folded where the soft screen was outside.
It was like that.
Right. And so Huawei devices literally folded that way. And I don't know if I ever really heard. Now, granted, this might be inside of China because they weren't exactly globally available, but I don't think if anybody had a serious issue with having the device like folded backwards that way. Right. It seemed like, but I'm just telling you, but the fact that Huawei, one, they're thriving without Google. Two, they've taken Harmony OS and made their own OS. Three, they're making hardware that nobody else is making, and it's not prototypical. It's literally retail. They're selling these things retail is kind of nuts. And I think if you think that they aren't trying to really kind of broaden their reach, if they make that, I tell you right now, if they made that phone global, there are people that will buy it.
Yeah, of course it is.
I would consider buying one. I don't know if I'd spend $2,900 because I just can't afford that. But if I could find a way to swing that, and if I could use it on AT&T,
Sam, any early adopters of the Fold, right? They're switching now to different folds.
Right.
And tell
people what you said to me, because I remember I had mentioned this week about talking about maybe leveraging the Fold 5 because it's on AT&T and getting a 9 Pro XL. And what was your response to when I said that? You're like, no.
And I said, no, you need a Fold in your life.
Right. And I said, well, why do you say that? And you said what? Because you finally have seen, like, you're like,
oh yeah, I've finally seen the light. Yeah, I actually
I kind of see
this thing.
Right. You're like, okay, now maybe the Duo wasn't it, and maybe the Fold was like,
the
right?
Duo kind of was it, but I never had my SIM in it.
Well, to me, and the problem is comparing the Duo to anything else is kind of not fair because it's not really the same thing. But you had the Pixel Fold, and you're like, but now you have this Vivo, and you're like, yeah, like I can see why this form factor works.
I wish I had the Vivo.
You had the
Honor Magic V3. But I hear very good things about the Vivo as well.
But I mean, look at that thing. How long have you had that Honor? Like a couple of days now?
No, I've had it about it must be about a week now, nearly.
Yeah, because remember we had talked about, you were like, foldables. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sold on foldables. Like you weren't really sold on them, and now you're
I
like,
wasn't at all.
But my response to you was, I think I'm going to get off. And you go like, mate, you got to have a foldable. And I said, well, okay, I agree. And you say, now I see why you're so in on foldables.
Yeah,
like this thing makes me understand why you're now in that ball game. Like I get it. And dude, agree with Wander's dude. Huawei's ecosystem and their desktop mode, dude. If you had a Huawei desktop mode and you had that XT, I don't think you need a computing device. Like at all. You don't need a tablet. You don't need you have a phone, a tablet, and a computer. You don't need anything. If you have a watch, or a Huawei band or whatever, you're set. You're good. You don't need anything.
I haven't really looked into it yet. Has it got any pen support?
I don't know. I guess really honestly, maybe they're talking about it. Maybe I was so blown away, but just by watching the thing unfold, I was like, I didn't hear anything fucking said. But yeah, and dude, Mate 30 Pro. I had a Mate 30. I really wish I would have kept. And actually, I had the P30, but my dog chewed the corner and cracked the screen. But dude, I don't care what you say. You can call me what you want, but Huawei devices, to me, as far as Android goes, I had
Huawei's
more
innovation.
Huawei's devices, even when they were, in the Mate 20, the Mate 20X, right? Even the 6P. People don't realize that it was a Nexus device, right? The Huawei 6P was awesome device. Yeah, the battery was a little trash on it and like that. But dude, it's really, really good. Huawei makes fantastic hardware, and their ecosystem is probably in China, when you can actually engage all the ecosystem. It's probably it's just as good, if not better, than iOS.
And they screen premium, right, as well. Their watches are beautiful.
Dude, really they do a really, really good job with making the devices premium, and really almost to the point of being like luxury. I almost want to say it's almost like they're trying to make it like a luxury brand. It's like the Rolls Royce of phones. It's really good, dude. And they also offer the regular phones, but they have the like the other. What's the series where they're really high end? The Porsche design. Remember the Porsche design?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, some of those rings are like, it's like jewelry. It's nuts. I mean, it's like, dude, I love Huawei. I mean, I don't care. And I'm an American. And like I said, I understand why there's a security concern. I really get that. I understand that from a perspective of being somebody who is in IT. I get the concern about Chinese devices and device security and everything else. I totally get that. But I'm telling you, man, every Huawei device I've ever had, I've had a few. I had the P30 Pro, the P30, the Mate 30. Every Huawei device I had has been just utterly awesome to use. Like, it's just been a great phone. Like,
I think good things about their laptops as well, actually.
Yeah, and it's banned. I think the Huawei ban is horseshit. And if you're going to ban Huawei, then you got to ban them all, right? You got to ban Honor, you got to ban Vivo, BBK. All of them. You got to ban them all, right? The fact that they don't ban them all, it's like, or just let it happen and let Huawei come back into the market, because I think people in the United States really are looking for stuff like that. And I think it's really good. And hey, Luis, good. Oh, hey, it's okay. You never have to apologize. No apologies, man. Thanks for dropping in. Actually, we need to get Luis on at some point. We need to reach out. I need to reach out to Luis and have him come on, because he's really, really good. I like having him on. He's really, really fantastic. Yeah, Porsche design. Dude, some of those phones were really, really like, what? Now, some of them are kind of overkill. Like, I'm like, okay, that's like, okay, that's nuts. But the fact that they offer that, and if you want to live that lifestyle and be a baller, that's kind of cool. Like, I like the fact that they kind of get, absolutely. Luis, I'll reach out to you offline. We'll have you come on. Absolutely. If you can squeeze it in, we'd love to have you on, mate. We think because I think I had Luis on the old show. I can't remember if we did. I think I did. I think on the Across the Podcast, I think we had Luis on, but that's been years ago. So Luis, need to get you on, mate. We'll reach out to you for sure. And they were. And here's the funny part. And people don't remember this, but in 2019, before the Orange Wonder banned Huawei, because Huawei's gay, they're stupid, right? Okay. Right. They're all gay. There's CCP, China, right? Okay. But before they got into that, they're actually were going to launch, I'm pretty sure it was either the P20 or the Mate 20 was actually going to come out on AT&T. They were literally going to have a carrier branded Huawei device, and that ban came out, and like literally AT&T sent me an email that said, because of the current Huawei's being placed on the US entity list, they're no longer going to be able to support the device. It was like 3 weeks before I was able to get the damn thing. And then AT&T had to stop. Dude, I was so bummed out. I was like, God, that's horse shit. But yeah, they were great, dude. I mean, I think it was nice. It's a shame because it's just political bullshit.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Hey, they got caught trying to hack a nuclear power plant. Yeah. I'm not doubting that. And then that's when they started probably that problem. And they started looking at infrastructure and 5G towers and nodes and everything else. They're like, okay, well, these are Chinese. And then the problem is because of the CCP being a communist country, they didn't know how much entanglement there is between companies inside of the CCP, and are they essentially agents for the Chinese government? Like, that was where it got really kind of tricky, and ZTE got banned too. Yeah, ZTE was another one. Remember the ZTE devices? Because they had the original foldable. I remember they had their foldable on AT&T, and I think they actually launched the ZTE.
This worries me. DJI is next.
Yeah, DJI. Yeah, they're going to do it. And like I said, I think it's this constant political fighting with the Chinese government and the United States. I think it's going to be kind of interesting how it's going to play out. But Sharp, Shark's in chat. Hello. How are you, sir? Again, we got to get Shark
back
on
again.
We got to get Shark on because we need some financial help because the financial landscape has changed quite a bit.
I need lots of help in all different areas.
Well, he can't help you because you're the UK. They don't have like real money. They're like fake.
They have monopoly money.
They got pounds.
Hands.
Anyway, so we need to get Shark on. We need to get Luis on. Absolutely. And we also got to get Michael Peppertech come on here in a bit. Yeah, we got to, but he doesn't need us anymore because he's got one in TK. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I love all love, man. So, anyways, but Trump will be the only one in droning now. The cats, they're going to get your cats. No, okay. Or your squirrels. Anyways, folks, I decided to wear my squirrel whisperer. My wife bought this shirt for me actually years ago.
I like it,
and
man.
It was pretty funny because she always thinks it was funny because she always sees a squirrel. So it's all good. So we'll see, man. It's it's a good time to be in tech, but I found it interesting this week with the narrative with the iPhones. I think that's the first time I saw really some kind of pushback for users. So we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully that Apple pays attention to that, and maybe with their 17 series, maybe they consider if they have a flippable in development, maybe they accelerate that, get that thing out.
It must have some kind of R&D on that.
They do, and I think they had said that somebody had addressed it. That they were talking about the 2026 timeframe as far as a flippable. But dude, I'm telling you, as a flip device,
did you hear the rumors about an iPad, like a folding iPad that was circling for a little while?
No, I didn't. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't. But I'm telling you, but most people don't carry an iPad. But I'm telling you, when I've shown women. And I hate to say this because everybody acts like women and men are equal, and they're different. Okay, folks. But when you show women,
equal but different,
when you're equal but different, but when you show them this and they go, "Holy shit!" or like, "Whoa!" And then they remember. And every time you know what they say is, "Oh, is that a razor?" Because that's what they remember. And you say, "Yeah, it actually is." And they said, "Man, if an iPhone could flip like that, dude, I would love to have one of those." What's that supposed to mean? I'm trying to be non-controversial, Luis. I'm trying to say that women and men are equal but different. I know it's a crazy thought. My wife's very good at a lot of stuff that I'm terrible at. So
and vice versa.
And there's some things I'm pretty good at. She likes that I do. So it's called a partnership. I know that's crazy, right? I know. I'm being edgy. I get it. Like I said, Luis. But Luis, you come on the show. We'll unpack all that. We appreciate that. Holy shit, Malik's here.
We don't want to go there.
Are you, Malik? Have you been lurking the whole time? Because I haven't seen you chat at all. So you think they won't discontinue the 16 next year because of AI? Well, I think that. Well, somebody had told me, and I think Adam had talked about the fact that the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max really were kind of not really embraced as much. Like that was the two, like the 15 and the 15. Like the lower end 15s are good, but the Pro and the Pro Max, I think people had really complained about either battery life or other things. So I think that if you're going to, well, they claim that what they say AI is going to be for the 15 series and the 16, right? That's what when the modeling comes out,
heat management,
right?
The 15 Pro and Pro.
Well, Max. I think what's going to happen is I think the dirty little secret with Apple is I think if they put the AI modeling on the 15 Pro and Pro Max, they're going to scorch the battery and the thing's going to be basically worthless. It's going to overheat and going to basically die within 3 hours.
It wouldn't handle it.
Right. And I think that's what so if you're asking me, Malik, what I think as a human being that doesn't know shit about nothing, I would say that that's my thing, that the 15 Pro Max, I think the reason why they discontinue models, I think when they actually implement this modeling, I think they're going to struggle. And remember, Apple's very big on user experience. And I think they're thinking these 15s are going to scorch. They're going to overheat already. They're already overheating now, but you throw this AI modeling and the fact that it's a Siri Plus shit, and I think they're going to melt the CPU and then drain the battery it's going to die in an hour. And I think that people are going to be so pissed off that they'll either be pissed off or they will, or they'll upgrade to a 16. But I think what the problem is if they don't like the AI, they'll just won't use it. I think that's what Apple's afraid of.
They don't want them to have that bad experience, and then
right, and they want them to not engage in that. They want them to be all in the AI's things, right? And so if they get a 15 and it is a real seriously negative experience, I think they're gonna well, fuck it. then it means that AI sucks and I don't want no part of it. So I think that may be part of it. I don't think that's a bad look, and I think that's a pretty good assessment of it. I think you're right on. So, and then Michael's going to use a lot of words that make a lot of sense with all sorts of like technique stuff. Yeah, I think he's right. He's going to talk about like we're just talking like a bunch of knuckleheads because we don't know shit. But Michael's going to know the stuff. He's the tech guy. I meant for the Michael Pepper Tech. I wanted to. Oh yeah. Well, it's okay. I just didn't know that I don't think they ever had a guest on. So I Michael Pepper can actually probably talk to this. I think he's the first guest on the Thursday show. I don't think they've ever had a guest on. I don't know. I've watched a lot of them, but I don't watch
right now.
I don't. But I mean, I'm just saying. But I mean, and that's not throwing shade at Michael Pepper Tech. He's one of our favorite people we have on the show. We love us some Michael Pepper Tech on the show. However, I just didn't know that Thursday show because I know for sure that on Juan's Monday, there's never a guest on that show. I never even right. So the fact that him and TK having that chat with Michael on there, that was pretty cool. I need to go back and watch that because he was on the show. That's pretty awesome. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There you go. Hey, he gave us the tea. He's the first. I was their first guest when they started. That was 3.5 years ago. So there you go, folks. There you go. Boop. Yeah, it's okay. Anyway,
quickly, Arsenal won 1-0 against Tottenham today.
Well, Tottenham sucks, don't they?
Yeah, but they're our rivals, and it was away at Tottenham. And do you know
Go
what?
Gunners.
Oh, so what you probably wouldn't know, but Declan Rice got a red card, 2 yellows and a red.
What do you punch him in? How do you get a red? What do you punch him in the face or something?
I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to be disgusted that he got a second yellow for it, right? So
he didn't get a red. He got 2 yellows.
2 yellows.
Okay,
it equates to a red, yeah. So, yeah, that was rubbish. So he was not eligible for this game. But also for Norway, our captain Odegaard, who's fantastic, he got injured. He's got an injury now, so he couldn't play. So our centre midfield was 2 older chaps.
Older chaps, 30?
Bit part players.
30. They're older chaps, yeah. Gotcha.
Bit part players. They're coming to the end of their careers, right? And I was getting memes from Tottenham fans all week, like showing Odegaard getting injured and all sorts. And then we went and beat them. It's beautiful.
Do you actually get memes directly from Tottenham fans who give you shit?
Well, because I grew up in North London, so I went to school with lots of people that were Tottenham fans. So, yeah. Okay,
I get you. And then Adam was on the show too. So Adam and Michael Pepper Tech, apparently those guys are cool. We're rubbish. No, we're not. We're pretty good. Because the Flippy Dippy would fit it. Yeah. Yeah. I think they need to really consider it. And I don't think a foldable works for iPhone. I think an iFlip, dude, I already told you the name. iFlip. Make that, and I'm telling you, they will sell millions of them. They will sell millions of them. How many women would love to have a device this small in their purse, handbag, pocket, jean pocket? Right? Women's jeans are smaller. They don't fit it. The phone always sticks out like 4 inches out the top. Right? Who wouldn't want this? Especially Apple, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to find a way to they're not going to compromise on the camera. Their flippables, their cameras will be pretty close. Right? Dude, iFlip. I'm telling you, man. iFlip. Get you some. Yes, and he confirms that Michael does confirm that Adam was on the show before.
Come on in, Sam. Your hot take. When is the iFlip coming out?
The iFlip is coming out in 2026.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. I think they have one in development. I think now the fold, they're not going to do a fold.
Now, will they call it the iFlip or will they call it?
They will call it the iFlip.
Or they call it the iPhone 18 Flip?
Nope. They're going to call it the iFlip because it'll be the first one. and they want somebody goes, oh my god, like look, girl, I got me some flippable. I got the iFlip. Ski, right? Ski, sheesh, or whatever the fucking people do. Right. iFlex. If it bent the other way, then iFlex. Maybe iFlex. If I'm going to Vegas and I'm putting money on what the phone's going to be called, dude, iFlip. It's perfect. iFlip. Dude, 26. Come out with the what so would be the 18, right? The 18. I think they go back to a mini.
I think it would be iPhone.
18 mini, 18 Pro, 18 Pro Max, iFlip.
I reckon it would be iPhone flip.
Well, if they go after like what Sony and Google do with their naming ridiculousness, yeah, then they will go that way. If you want that to totally land, you tell me that, hey, you got Tim Cook on the stage showing a flipping iPhone, and iFlip is good. Buy it, and it's going to be like $999. They'll sell 1 billion of them. They will sell 1 billion.
Yeah, they would probably.
Yep. BOE was supposed to make displays for Flip, and now they fell through. Now Samsung and LG. Right. I get it. The Apple Flippy Dippy. I still think they should call the iFlippy. The iFlippy or the Flippy Dippy. Dude, I'm telling you, you guys can have it. We have not.
No, they can't. That's ours.
Well, we haven't. We haven't copyrighted.
I'm not giving them permission to have that.
Okay, well, we have to copyright it, so because that's
Apple,
how.
If you want that, yeah.
Maybe in the EU where you got all the rules, you guys can do all that. But Flippy Dippy is our shit. So if you call it Flippy Dippy, we're going to sue you. But I think the iFlip, I think that's a legitimate.
We'll lose, but we'll make it painful.
A foldable iPad I think a folding iPad before an iPhone. I don't think they'll ever do a folding iPhone. They won't do an iPhone, but they'll do a folding iPad and a Flippy Dippy. I think they will do that. And the Apple Flippy, yeah, that would be great. That's good. I like the Flippy. Actually, I know he's making LOL as a joke, but I think if we have you're right, Jimmy. We have copyrighted Flippy Dippy, so fuck that. We'll sue Apple. Will we win? We won't.
No chance.
No chance. But we have anecdotal evidence because we've been calling it Flippy Dippy, and so folks also too is remember there is some Motorola coverage, right? You get the Neo, right? The Moto, right? Yeah, there's our buddy Dan Grounded Tech has done some really good work, and there's some. Yeah. They've been taking some pictures. What do you think about the pictures that they took with the Motos? There, I think Motos kind of coming around a little bit.
Sent a video earlier of that snow. Did you see it? It's fantastic footage from Moto.
I think Moto again. Are they Google, Apple, Huawei? No. But dude, for the price point, for what I think Moto's really trying to do a really good job with their cameras. I think that's always been the two things have always been the cameras and the update cycle, right? Their software update.
Both of them are moving forward.
They're trying to move those forward. And I think the cameras are pretty decent. Again, are they next level? No, but I mean, for the fact that you can get yourself a Moto device for $300-400. You can get a stylus, right? If you got the Moto G stylus series, I mean, I think Moto's trying to do better. Like I said, we need to celebrate those devices. Like we want other Android space people in space.
Talking of colors and finishes that they have on their devices, they look great,
dude. The Pantone on the Moto devices is nuts.
Yeah, man,
it's really good.
It's really good.
And Michael Peppertech, you need to get the iFlip and iFold domains now. Is there actually? Let's see. Hold on a minute. Let's try it out.
What are we looking for?
iFlip is I don't know. Michael Peppertech, go ahead and register those domains right now. Well,
www.flippydippy.com.
I think if you do the iFold, you're probably going to be okay. iFlip, you might want to lock that domain down .com and .eu and all the other domains. Get that locked down. You might actually be all right.
Can you do a flip?
Can I do a flip?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like if you was on a trampoline, could you do a flip?
Yeah, I can. Well, I don't know. Maybe
I've got this vision, right? www.flippydippy.com, right? And when you go on there, there's just a video of you doing flips on a trampoline, I think it would be the best website ever.
Well, it doesn't come up. So if you go www.flippydippy.com, it does not resolve.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Right. Yeah. So I need to register that domain.
Yeah, we need to get that.
Absolutely. So anyway, so yeah, I mean it's been a good day. Like I said, I think Apple finally is starting to kind of feel a little heat, and it's nice that it's coming from Apple fans, not necessarily just the Apple haters from the Android community. But I think for the first time, I was really kind of concerned about the fact that I thought flippables and foldables didn't have a market.
Yeah.
But who knew that Apple fans would come in and save the day and start complaining about the fact that, well, they got flips and flippy. Why can't we have that on? Maybe the salvation lies within Apple fans complaining that they don't have enough form factors.
Yeah.
Who knew that was going to be a thing?
What do you think? What do you think spurred that? Do you think it's Samsung, or do you think it's the OnePlus Open in the US? What do you think's brought that flow of foldables to their attention, Apple fans?
I will tell you
in
that
the
I
US
think
specifically.
Well, in the US, I think it's because they've seen commercial. Because remember, think about it. Who are the flippable? Yeah. Who are the flippable phones in the US? Samsung, Moto, right? Has Moto run a commercial in the US on their flippables? Nope. Who has run commercials in the US about the fold and the flip? Samsung. Remember.
Samsung.
Do you do this and I do this? Do you look and see what phone people are using? Like you walk around, it's like, oh, hey, that person's got a flippable. Hey, that person's got a OnePlus. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Apple fans don't do that. They don't care. They don't look to see. That doesn't mean they don't care. The only time they know you're about that basic bitch life is when you have a green bubble. Then they know you're an Android user. But in public, they don't see that.
No.
Android people see that. And I think what happens is because Samsung has always been good at advertising. They're advertising the flip. They're advertising the fold. And then what happens is you see people that go out in the world and have like a phone like this. That's not even a Samsung. It's literally a Razor, right? But the fact that they see, I've used it at a point of sale. People are like, oh, that's flippable, right? They see that, and I think that's what happens. Is I think they're starting to see ads about it, and I think they're starting in like my Z Fold and billboards and ads. People who are not Samsung users or Android users are seeing that these phones exist, and you can't just rely on people having them in the wild. That's not a thing because again, Android people look, but I don't think Apple people look.
No,
but they see advertisements for the flip and the fold. And they go, well, how come Apple doesn't have an iFold? It's because you don't want one. And they go, yes, we do. I said, well, they don't think you do. Right. So that's the problem. I think for the first time after a couple of years, what are we on this? Are we on the 6th iteration of the flip, right? Say flip 6. Okay. Now it's starting to actually make a dent. And I think Samsung, actually kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Remember,
I think they hoped it was going to happen earlier than what it has.
Remember, folks, I know we all like to think that we're marketing executives and we're marketing managers and we're marketing people, but guess what we are? Regular people who are fans that use the products. We're not marketing people. I don't know anybody in this chat who works at a company who's a marketing executive or a marketing manager. Maybe they are and they aren't saying it. If that's the case, that's cool. But you have to understand that these companies aren't totally stupid. They know what they're doing for the most part. Now they may misalign with what we think they should do because we're regular consumers or regular people. But at the end of the day, I think they kind of know what they're doing, and I think they're pretty good at it. But I think he's 100% right. This comment, I think, is the best comment of the show. Google doing ads on YouTube, right? They're finally, remember, the first 4 generations of Pixels, including, well, I'd say the 5, right? Nothing. What happened with the 6? They redesigned the phone. They started advertising. They were in movie theaters. They were in trailers. They were radio ads. They were spots. They were on
Google's marketing has been excellent.
Right. And all of a sudden now, people are talking about Pixels. Whether or not they're talking about it like, technically teased, like, well, they got a couple of weeks and then nobody cares about the Pixel. that may be true.
No,
But
that's not true. I'll tell you why. Because they're marketing.
Year, right. Every year that it kind of snowballs, right? And people are talking about it, but they know it exists. And that's all marketing is. You know that when you go into a store, you have a Samsung, you have a Google Pixel, you have other Android options. Again, that's not for the people. The people like Android, that's fine. But people are looking at the iPhone 16 and there might be on a 14 or 15. And for the first time, I think people are starting to look across the aisle at the Samsung S24, the Flippy Dippy, the foldables, and they're like, why can't I get these form factors in an Apple phone? And I think people are starting to, and again, they won't say a lot of it. It's definitely not going to be broadcast. But I think a lot more than ever, I think people who are on the iPhone side, who have been iPhone users for years, who would never consider an Android device, what are the things they always complain? Android phones are cheap. You're basic bitch bullshit, right? You're a budget human being, right? Well, that's not true. And that's not true. And now they have a flippable. I think a lot of people who are iPhone people are starting to at least look. They still may not buy an Android device because, ecosystem in their family, and I get all that. But for the first time, I think that people are starting to kind of at least pay attention to a possibility that there may be a situation where they might want to consider switching. And that's the first step in breaking that up. Again, buy what you want. Use what you want. And if you have family that are in the iPhone ecosystem, cool. And I will still argue that the Apple Watch is still the best wearable available, period. But that gap is starting to close on wearables and ecosystem and also camera capability. The three things that people really always hang on to Apple devices, I think it's starting to erode a little bit and people are starting to notice. Now, does that change anything? Maybe not. In the US, who knows? But the US isn't the only country on earth, and they're not the only consumers that exist.
No, they're definitely not. No, they're a massive chunk though. Massive.
Yeah, not really. 330 million people. There are more people in India and in India and China than there are in the United States and the UK and most of Europe. So that's not true. And look what Huawei is doing in the Chinese market.
Yeah, they're doing
it's significant, and I think people are starting to pay attention. So at the end of the day, okay, hello, okay, mama. So there we go. She's needy. She's not. Anyway, so at the end of the day, buy what you want, enjoy your tech. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. No.
Don't be a dick. And Joe's knackered. He's already tired. He looks exhausted. It's been a long show. Yeah. We're an hour and 30 minutes.
I didn't get into 2 this morning because 3 trains got cancelled.
Like, well, how did that? What do you mean? How do they cancel a train? Are they out of service because they're broke, or are they just not enough riders, or why would they cancel trains?
I did ask someone the reason. Apparently, it was like that they couldn't get the drivers to connect, and it's just so they had to cancel them. Okay, great.
Look at the people, Mama.
Must have been like from delays from earlier on in the day that messed it up. Okay. I don't know.
All right, Mama.
But it sucks.
Right. A Huawei isn't sold in India? Okay, well, eventually it might be. Anyway, so we'll see. So I'm sorry, mate. Like, I know it was a long day. So, and we had a long show. Talked about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, enjoy your tech. Don't be a dick. And
don't be a dick.
Maybe one day, if you're really good, you'll have hair as nice as Joe's. But maybe not.
I doubt that. There's people with better hair than me.
This is Kona. She won't turn and look. Kona, look at the people. Look at the people.
She's like, no.
She wants to be on my shoulder. So anyway, this is one of my Boston Terriers. This is Kona. And then Milo. Now hold on, I will not.
She's like, give me some love. Give me some love too.
That's Milo. He is my other. I have 2 Boston Terriers, and that's what it is. I know, Mama. I know. Okay, are you ready to get some food? Oh, that's what I said. I said
the ears.
Right. So at the end of the day,
did you say food?
Yes, I said food. So again, thank you for everybody who decided to stop on by. Thanks for all the great chats. You guys are awesome every day. I love the fact that, and I love Malik. Don't forget to skin your shit. Screenskims.co.uk. Get yourself some. On Tuesdays, they have a buy one, get one. Check them out. Go to their website, extremeskims.co.uk. Fantastic. Although there's some shipping, and obviously, if you're in the United States, it takes a couple extra days. But we like the quality. Like, they're good folks. They have great customer service. Check them out. And and they got you covered on the 9 series. Right. They got you covered on your iPhones. If you're about that life and you're looking for the 16 series, I think we are going to get it because Becky needs an upgrade from the 12. So I think we're going to get a 16.
That got you covered because it covers your phone.
Right. It covers your phone. They got you covered. That was on purpose. Anyway, so actually, an iOS 18 is coming out tomorrow, folks. So hey, if you're about that life, I think the phones come out tomorrow. Right.
How far
I think
that's down to.
I think the phones are actually starting delivery tomorrow. I think they said the 16th is when their delivery date is, but also iOS 18 is coming out. Now, you may not have all the AI features and your camera button. Sorry, Apple, it's a camera button. It may not work totally good, but they promise there's updates in the future. So anyways, so it sounds good. So at the end of the day, thanks for tuning in. And thanks for everybody, like I said, Luis and everybody who decided to drop by. We will have Luis on sometime soon. We're going to have Shark on sometime soon. Anybody else who wants to jump in on the show, please reach out to us. We have an email address. I'll put it in the show notes. Delivery is the 20th. Very good. Michael probably is already going to get some kind of device. Absolutely.
I was talking about iOS. What phone is it going down to? iOS 18?
I think it'll go probably all the way down to, I don't know, maybe the 12. I think maybe, I don't know if the iPhone, I don't think the 10 phones, like the X series, I don't think they're involved in iOS 18.
I don't think it's going down to them, is it? No. It's not going down to 11 either, is it? So I think you're right.
I think it's the 12. I don't know for sure. That's just me guessing, just kind of off the top of my head, just riffing. So at the end of the day, we'll see how it goes. And so tomorrow, if you download iOS 18 and you really like it, sounds good. It sounds like a good update. Get your iPhone 16s, and we'll have people on the show who want to talk about their iPhone 16. And I'm curious to see if they really like it. And the X series is probably the last one. Okay, well, that's what, 7 years ago? 6 years ago? Okay, that's probably true. iOS 18 is probably the last one for them. But anyway, if you have an iPhone, tomorrow will be a good day for you for iOS 18. If you can download it, great. Sounds good. Check it out. And then next week, we don't have a guest, but we might have Dan, maybe possibly, or we got to reach out to Luis and Shark and see if they, what their schedule is, and see if we're having them on. We'd like to have some good guests coming on in the end of September, early October timeframe. So we'll want to have that. Yeah. Because nobody should just listen to us just ramble on for an hour.
And in between, check out Screen On Time.
And check out Screen On Time. That's Joe's channel. And actually, Joe is going to be receiving something hopefully very soon that he will unbox on his channel. We're not going to tell you folks what it is, but check out Screen On Time, at Screen On Time. Check that out. And Joe may have another unboxing that may be a little different than what you're used to. So you should try to check that out, because I think you're really going to enjoy the unboxing experience that Joe brings. And also just show some love for his channel. He's trying to start that up. And it's really, really good. So check that out, Screen On Time, and we'll do some searches, and we'll put that in the chat, in the show notes. I'll put that as well, the link to the channel. Subscribe to it. Joe's doing a really good job trying to get that channel launched. It's really, really good. And Joe, also, if you need help, you can reach out to Luis. He will help you out. Absolutely. And Luis, we will reach out to you offline and have you come on, sir, whenever your schedule permits. And thank you so much for being a fan. And again, for everybody, for Michael Peppertech, for Jimmy, Mind Your Helm, Malik, everybody in the chat, Shark and Luis, and everybody who comes in every week and shows us love and downloads our show and really shows us some support. We really appreciate it. And
we really do, man.
We can't thank you guys enough. And thank you so much for coming on, listening to the show, and being a part of the Nomad Tech Project community. We really appreciate that. And for myself and for Joe, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Enjoy your tech. Have fun with your life and everything else you got going on. And also, don't be a dick. Try to be nice to people and try to, realize that everybody else is great and they're good people. And also make sure you push where you can push, right? If you have questions, you have comments, concerns, reach out to us. But also, try to be nice to people. everybody's out here just trying to basically live their life and do their thing. And there's just opinions. Who really cares? At the end of the day, nobody has answers for this stuff, but appreciate you guys. And also check out Juan's stream tomorrow for Monday. Obviously, it starts at 11 p.m. Central Time. Check him out and also show Juan some love. He's really a great creator, and we really appreciate him. And for myself and for Joe, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. Take care. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.